Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the November 30th, Tuesday edition of the AM Show, hosted live here on AlphaMInt. I am your host, as always, R2DGen, and I am joined by the slightly sad boy free market capitalist this morning, and a special guest host. We have Ongo of Cyber Babies fame. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, and it's a good morning. I don't know about you guys, but here in Canada, it is snowing like a mf'er. So that's it's winter is finally here. So I like the winter, but yeah. So let's start the show off. I asked this hesitantly, but free market. How was your day yesterday?
Yeah, my day was great. My evening was a little not great. Everything was dominated by the CloneX drop last night. It was the talk of the town. If you had looked at the Twitter trending topics, the two trending topics were 3 ETH and CloneX.
We will talk about the significance of 3 ETH and CloneX later, but I don't know how that fucking happened, but it is. I want to say hilarious, but it's kind of not. But
it's the Yankees choking to the Sox in the ALCS. There's no other. It's that big a botch. It's that they fumbled the bag pretty hard.
Yeah, so we will discuss that in great detail after we get through the morning segment. I actually just want to introduce Ongo a little bit more. So Ongo is a new member of the Moon Lounge. He is also the creator and founder of Cyber Babies with the team he has there. And a lot of the new members you're going to see hop in here are from your Discord.
Yeah, our guys have definitely been looking for like an alpha group for quite a bit now, but some of the ones that I was aware of were pretty expensive. And when Scott reached out to me and he let me see what you guys were about, it was a no-brainer. I was like, absolutely, if you guys want to partner with us. And like our members are super excited to be here too. So yeah, I'm glad that you guys have been super welcoming to everybody, and thank you guys for doing that and partnering with us.
That's what we're
super excited about it.
That's what we're all about here. And so for anybody listening right now, Ongo and his team have developed a bot that they use for minting and some purchases on OpenSea and stuff like that. So he's going to co-host the show with us, like as normal, just banter back and forth. And then later on in the show, we're gonna move into the voice chat channel, and they're gonna do a bit of a project demo and field some questions from the audience as well regarding their product. But yeah, we're super excited to have you in here, and we're glad that you're enjoying the community. So thank you so much for being up on stage with us this morning.
Well, yeah, and also thank you for letting me join the show and talk shit with you guys. Like I'm always down to do that. So let's fund some bags.
All right, so quickly we're going to look at the cryptocurrency market overview. Bitcoin having a bit of a day, kind of touching over 58,000. Ethereum has been the talk of AlphaMInt, though. Right now sitting at $4,663, up 13% on the week and up 7% on the 24-hour clock. Doesn't seem to be affecting NFTs. We kind of always have this narrative: ETH goes up, NFTs go down. But we're kind of seeing a strong parity, at least in the projects that I've been looking at, and I am okay with that. Free market, what do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with that. It seems to be that while Ethereum is rallying, or quote unquote rallying right now, we seem to just be in this sideways consolidation phase since we tested the old all-time highs, and NFTs seem to be benefiting from it. I think there's rotation back into the JPEGs. Mints are going well. Secondary volume is brisk. Things are trading above mint price. So I think it's a pretty good atmosphere for NFTs.
Yeah, I mean, to be 20 days removed from the all-time high and down only 5%, I think that's a good sign that we never actually hit peak euphoria for crypto, and that this was just, as you said, kind of healthy consolidation. We're trading sideways a little bit. We have some ups and downs, and maybe this is the start of a bit of a leg up. Ongo, you have any thoughts? Oh, sorry, go free, Mark.
No, I was just going to say, felt like a pretty classic bear trap there, where sentiment was just a little too far to one side of the boat. They had that nice 10% haircut that happened right after Thanksgiving, and it seems that it retraced just as quickly. So
When you say 10% haircut, you mean the entire market crashed and crypto is dead, right?
yeah, that's
Well,
right.
yeah, of course. I mean, if ETH is still above 4K, I mean, we're all fucking doomed, right? Like, what? Bitcoin's at $56,000. Fuck this. Like, I'm done. Get me the rope.
Yeah, it was
Like,
hilarious. We were joking about that, how like, it runs all the way up to, at this point 69,000, but we're talking 4 years ago it was ran up to 19,000, and that was like super high. And our motto is kind of sometimes just slow down and zoom out, right?
yeah, of course. And I think that, like, in the moment, like, people just panic because, I think there's a lot of people and, like, there's a lot of new people in the crypto market and the NFT market that just also, like, ape into things and spend beyond their means. So the minute,
100%.
yeah, I mean, I know that's wild to think about, but yeah, like, I think that's definitely part of it. And it's interesting because, like, if you look at the guys that have been involved in this stuff for a really really long time, I mean, there's still some of them that like panic and they're just like, oh my god, the sky is falling. But a lot of the people that have been in crypto, because I've been in crypto since like the beginning of 2017, and so like, yeah, so like when I see all of this stuff happen, I'm like, oh, okay, like I don't really think this is totally normal and par for the course, right? But then you hop on like CT and like Discords and stuff, and everybody's just like, oh my god,
The sky is
everything is.
falling.
Yeah, and then like what you guys touched on a minute ago is just like there's this narrative right now, and I'm still learning about NFTs. We all are. Like, it's still new, and nobody's an expert on it. But it's this thing where like, okay, well, if ETH is ripping, then NFTs are gonna like consolidate or die, right? If ETH goes down, like NFTs like are gonna die. If ETH crabs, NFTs are gonna die. It's like, okay, so what environment are NFTs supposed to fucking
Yeah,
thrive in?
that reminds me of the
Like,
2017 narrative of like Bitcoin goes down, ETH goes down, Bitcoin goes up, ETH goes down, and it was just like, we're reading the tea leaves here.
Right, for sure. And then you look at the volume though. Like when ETH went down, like NFT volume was like skyrocketing, like on OpenSea, right? And like you guys had just said, like a lot of projects, like even with ETH ripping right now, like a lot of stuff still seems to be moving. The volume's there, and
They're just misidentifying exactly what's happening, because when people rotate, into different assets, you're gonna see volume die in that other asset. But it's not because Ethereum is more expensive in dollar terms. It's just a rotation to a different asset within the ecosystem, and that's why you see the volume dry up. But of course, it looks like, because ETH is going up, like, oh, ETH is getting more expensive in dollar terms. It's obviously gonna hurt NFTs. But if that were true, then the move from 300 to 4,000 last year should have killed NFTs a lot more than the move from 4,000 to 5,000 now.
And
right.
here we are. Couple of final notes or the only other note that I want to talk about with cryptocurrencies is everybody's favorite coin, Shiba, is on the rise again, up 33% in the last 24 hours, and this thing is taking a chunk out of Dogecoin again as the two dog coins kind of fight for their spot in the top 10. So I have no comment on Shiba. I'm glad that somebody made $5 billion off of it, and we'll leave it at that. Moving on to some crypto news. Big news yesterday. Jack Dorsey stepping down as the leader of Twitter. A lot of speculation that Jack is going to be going all in on crypto, as he's probably been one of the most public evangelists of Bitcoin specifically. But there's always been talk of Twitter integrating NFTs. Twitter is integrating Bitcoin tipping. He bought a whole bunch of Bitcoin on Square's balance sheet, and Square being the giant payment system that they are, I imagine that this is going to become his focus. But free market, what do you think about this move by Jack? It took everyone by a bit of a surprise.
I really like Jack Dorsey, his Bitcoin maximalism aside, but I think every Ethereum head in Twitter kind of breathed a sigh of relief. I know they've been pushing really hard for NFTs because, quite frankly, Ethereum is more important to Twitter than Bitcoin is, and I think that was causing friction with Jack. Twitter is visual based. You're looking at text, you're looking at pictures, you're looking at profile pictures. Where does Bitcoin fit into that compared to Ethereum, right? So I think, you saw a lot of cool leaks even coming out of Twitter people the moment Jack stepped down, with some more looks onto as to what the PFP verification system would look like for them. So we're pretty excited about that coming. I do think that Twitter also has to be a lot more careful than other companies because they're so intertwined in government and media. A hacked Twitter account can cause a war, as we know. It is not your normal company. Twitter crypto is hindered by regulatory issues. So I think that's why they've been so careful about approaching it. And now Jack's going to feel a little more liberated at a finance only company where they're already, dealing in crypto. So I think it's a good move. I liked Jack. I believe he's still on the board, of course. And I'm really bullish on Twitter. If we're going to do a little stock stuff, I think that they have the most potential for monetization in the social media space going forward.
Yeah, and it's important to note that the person taking over Twitter was the CTO, who was running the decentralized version of Twitter, Blue Sky. So, obviously somebody...
Very well liked.
Yeah, very
well liked.
Obvious,
by
yeah.
insiders.
And obviously big on decentralization, and you would presume that this is somebody that's crypto native as well. Right. So, I mean, Twitter kind of just has become, along with Discord now, I guess, just the de facto place for all things finance, all things crypto, and now all things NFT. So it'll be interesting to see what Jack gets up to. Ongo, what's your take on Jack? He's a pretty polarizing individual, and as FMC said, a bit of a Bitcoin maxi. But what do you think?
Honestly, I don't really have too strong a take on Jack one way or the other. The little bit I've read about him, seen interactions and stuff like that, he seems like a pretty good dude. And I know prior to me getting involved with NFTs, I was definitely a lot more bullish on Bitcoin than I was ETH. But,
yeah, I was the same way too. And
it's not that I'm not any less bullish on Bitcoin. I'm just far more bullish on ETH than I ever was before. Now that I'm in the ecosystem and I'm seeing everything that's built on ETH, I've come over to the dark side, so to speak. Because for a long time I was just a Bitcoin maxi, and the longer and longer I enter this space, I'm just okay, I kind of fucking love ETH, kind of love it more than Bitcoin. So but as far as Jack goes, though, I don't really have any strong feelings one way or the other, but he's always, seemed like a really, really smart dude. And, I love that he's a massive proponent for crypto, and he's, somebody that has a following and has a platform to be able to voice his opinions and stuff. And that's certainly not a bad thing.
Yeah, I'd probably
for the crypto space in general.
Probably pretty bullish on Square right now too, as they probably look to kind of grab a stranglehold on some kind of crypto payment platform. But moving on from Jack, one final little piece of news, more related to NFTs. But we have Snoop Dogg dropping his decentralized dog NFT on Super Rare. I don't know if you checked this out, but the bidding right now, last I saw, was at 169 ETH. It's a 1 of 1 done with him and Cold E. I'm not really familiar with that. Does that name ring a bell to you, FMC? No. Okay. It is pretty cool though. I have it up on screen, but I'll drop the link in the AM show chat right now. But it's kind of got him. I'm gonna pull up the sound, and hopefully it's not too loud.
Alpha since day one.
You guys won't be able to hear it actually, so I'm just gonna turn it on. But it's got this kind of just chill vibe with Snoop probably high as fuck talking about NFTs. So. That's kind of big news, and this thing is ripping. I don't know how much it's going to end up selling for, but it's got about 3 days left, and Snoop, or rumored to be Kazomo Medici, is probably one of the biggest celebrities that is very, very NFT centric.
Yeah, he's definitely the largest, I would say, as far as followings go. And he's very pro NFT, whether he's Cosmo or not. In fact, I have a feeling Cosmo is the 169 bid on Snoop's NFT, but that's just my gut feeling. I don't know. I think that he is very loved, very respected, and he's obviously deep in the world because he has this publicity stunt going with the Cosmo stuff. So you love to see it.
Who else had Snoop Dogg being a massive crypto and NFT proponent on their 2021 bingo card though? Like what I definitely wouldn't have predicted that, but yeah, it's great, man. Like I like Snoop Dogg. Everybody likes Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like Snoop is just like it's hard not to like, who would have thought, years ago that he would just strike up this like super close friendship with Martha Stewart. Like I just love like he just does whatever he wants. He's super chill and yeah, he loves the JPEGs too and definitely there's a lot of big names that have bought them. Obviously Steph Curry bought the Bored Ape. Jimmy Fallon bought a Bored Ape. Future just bought one too. We didn't even talk about that. That's a big name. Like Jay-Z bought a CryptoPunk, but I mean, they're not like out there talking about it all the time, right? Like they've bought one, they put it as their profile picture, and that's cool and all. Like Snoop is in it.
Is Jay-Z a boomer or what? He bought a punk over a Bored Ape? Are you kidding?
Dude, yeah, the one thing we did, at least it's like Snoop Dogg out there like leading the charge and not like Puff Daddy, because that would be the end of times. Like if we had like Diddy out here buying JPEGs, like that's probably a fucking massive top signal and it's time to sell everything. But
to watch for the Diddy purchase. Got it.
Watch for the newscasters who chuckle every time they mention NFTs. When they're mortgaging their house to buy your B-Gons, that's when you know.
Always the opportunist to throw the BGAN plug in there. I love it. I'm gonna have to start buying more of those, man. Every time you say the word BGAN, I just get a little bit more bullish.
BGAN in existence in the audience there on the owl. That is the cleanest floor alien in existence. It's better than any punk I've ever seen.
It's crazy. Yeah. Love it. Okay, enough about Snoop. Quickly go to WGMI. Nothing crazy going on in there. I think we're gonna have to find a better way to track some like broader scope of floors, because WGMI doesn't have like the biggest list of things. But in the last one day, Monkey Bet is doing all right, up 40%, but that is following a gigantic crash after the Baboon Bet kind of thing, and then the OpenSea debacle kind of crushed their floor. I was watching that in real time, so fuck you, OpenSea. Yeah, Wolf Game is kind of bouncing back. It's had a little bit of a rough go during the midst of their contract migration. We'll see how.
Gary tweeted a wolf emoji last night.
So oh, did he? So we're
it must be back a little.
Back on the run. Also, big shout out. Like Gary V's pretty bullish on the Cryptoon Goons, I believe, right? He had an interview with him on.
Was there a 17E sale yesterday? I thought I saw.
I didn't even watch that.
17E for one of the rares.
Scott's just teasing a AlphaMInt floor tracker by Ape Season coming soon, so get fucking hyped about that.
Let's go.
Sorry, Ongo, you were about to say something.
No, dude, those are so fucking cool, man. And it looks like, like 1930s, 1940s Disney / Cuphead artwork, and it's definitely unique. Like that's one of my favorite projects that's come out the last 3 months. And the crazy thing is, dude, like when it came out, it just sat. I'm pretty sure they were up for like a week, dude. And then like they were up for a minute though, because and then they got traction. They popped up on Icy, and then they flew after that, because I had bought them the day before they sold out, and there was still like 60% of the stock and I just bought them because they look cool. Like I didn't think, oh, like I should buy these because they're gonna moon or anything like that. I just thought they looked really fucking cool and they were cheap, so I scooped them, and then they sold out the next day. But somebody had told me that they had been up for like a week or something like that. They were just sitting there.
The head dev is a member of our Moon Lounge. Shout out to Jesse Friedland for the amazing project. We had quite a few ape in because he had been teasing us for a few weeks with it.
Yeah, and I just want to go back to Ongo's point. Like they do look great. They're PFPable, and it's one of those projects that the rare project that once the reveal happened, it didn't really dump as much as some of the other ones do. I think to your point, like they revealed and everything looked good. Like people were like, oh damn, like these are pretty fun. And they're very unique. That's the other thing too, right? Like there's not a lot of derivatives. They didn't spawn any derivatives after the fact, and they were just a fun project.
That's exactly
too, man. I was just gonna say that that's another one that revealed, and everyone was like, "Wow, all the floors look pretty damn good." That's just rare. I think we always they show you the best pictures in the sneak peeks,
Yeah,
and then when you see the
100%.
floors, you're always really underwhelmed. It's great when a project can put work into their floors so they pop a little bit and then still differentiate the rares.
And they're just fun, dude. Just like the goons, man. Like the Swamp Verse project, they just look really fucking cool, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like I scooped a couple of pizza ones yesterday just because I
nice.
really like them. Yeah, I just like the way they look, dude.
I'm a big MF Doom fan, RIP, but yeah, they have the Doom masks on there, and they look dope as fuck. I'm a little priced out of those, but yeah.
There's Doom mask frogs for real.
The Cryptoon goons.
Oh, I didn't even know there was Doom Cryptoons. What?
Yeah, they're like the top tier. I'm gonna pull one up right now. Yeah, the Doom mask. There's 9 of them. And they're going for above 3 ETH. Actually, it looks like only one sold. Yeah,
the one that went for 17 was like he was missing the skin on half of his body. You can see
the half build.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, honestly, sign of a great project where we have no intention of talking about it, and then all of a sudden we just go off on a tangent. So, but yeah, big shout out to Jesse Friedland, AlphaMInt OG, for being part of that project. Love to see the members succeed in other ways, just other than trading, right? So, great place to network too. All right, let's
hit 60 listeners, my boy.
Oh, all right. What was the 60 listener mark promise? I think Scott was gonna buy a cool cat and send it to the burn address. I think that was the plan.
The burn address is my wallet, right?
Scott's gonna leave right now, so we're down on a listener and get there. No, honestly, huge thanks to everybody that's tuning in. 59 people right now. That is dope as fucking an all-time high. Let's talk about the Kong game disaster, and the Whales game has some stuff going on. Let's talk games. Free Market, you were involved. I shouldn't say involved. You were, I believe, on or watching the Kong game. Perfect. Let's talk.
Yeah, I was on the whitelist there because they whitelisted kaijus, Kongs, Bored Apes, etc. And when I went into the Discord, I saw like Sneaky and Zeneca and people verifying. So I was like, oh, this could actually be a thing. The previews looked okay. They weren't fabulous, but they were nice. Apparently, they were too detailed. We'll get into that in a second.
Oh God, I just pulled up the OpenSea. This is okay. Yeah, go.
Yeah, the OpenSea is the images. They had to reduce the image size to be able to afford to put the contract up. And holy shit, did they go from okay to terrible when they reduced that image size? But images aside, none of these games are reinventing the art wheel when it comes to that. But it was just a completely screwed up launch, screwed up contract where I believe halfway through the whitelist mint, someone realized you could mint for 0. You didn't even have to pay the 0.02. It was a complete debacle. The price on OpenSea is literally 0, and the creator or the head dev of the game basically went on Twitter last night and was like, I don't know what happened. This is awful. I feel terrible. I'm shocked. I didn't intend for this, and rest in peace, Kong game.
Did he actually say that? Like, we're out?
Yeah. Go look at his Twitter. I forgot what his Twitter handle is. I saw the retweet yesterday. I mean, at least he's not running away. Like, I commend the guy for not shying away from what's happening. He should, get out there and explain and apologize. But everything went wrong. It was not good. I didn't even try to mint, to be honest. By the time, honestly, they were supposed to mint on Sunday. There were delays for numerous reasons, not the least of which was this weird, like, we didn't realize how expensive it would be to put this many gigabytes on chain type of thing. So I was already like, I really don't care. If I see a bunch of people minting, maybe I'll run in. Once it started and I saw what was happening, I don't think I even went to the website to look. So
yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'm pulling it up. Actually, I'm on OpenSea right now, and this is where it's kind of weird. Like, I don't know if maybe the news isn't out or somebody thinks that there's some upside to this, but like an hour ago, a Kong just got purchased for 0.25.
Okay.
Yeah, like that's a big purchase for a game that's pretty much dead in the water.
For a zero floor. I mean, look, people
It,
do
it,
a lot of weird stuff.
Look,
It's
guy,
definitely-
it's not always about the money, guys. Sometimes it's just about the art, okay? Sometimes it's just about the art, okay? Like maybe the guy has a nice digital frame on his wall that he plans on uploading the Kong to, and that's what it's for.
Well, we'll just we'll post a picture of this art that he just paid $1,100 for in the AM show chat, and we'll move on from the conversation, I guess.
That's a
That's what $1,200 got somebody. Yeah, the chat's lighting up. Amazing.
Conversely, Whale Game. Whale Game's not doing bad.
Whale Game's not doing bad. That was one that we were talking about yesterday. A little bit shaky. It was a derivative. We had some varying opinions on whether or not you should be able to stake or it's better to earn passively. I want to clarify that I actually do believe that having to stake your NFTs does create some interesting financial incentives to hold, and there's a risk reward of unstaking and trying to sell. It does constrict supply a lot. I am partaking in Whale's Game, one, because I do think that maybe the market will decide that it's time for a passive income game, and they're going to do some dynamics. But late into the evening last night, I had minted a couple with some krill. Every mint, the expense goes higher and higher. And I'm at a very low cost basis in this game. So I kind of did gas is pretty cheap right now. Let's just continue to play it, see where it goes. Well, they announced in the middle of the night that there is a new portion of the game, and they're going more into the DeFi aspect of it. And they announced that they are doing Krill Compounder. So it's Compound Krill. Now you can stake your Krill tokens and earn a percentage of I believe, the network transactions on top of it. So now there's this interesting dynamic of you're not locking up your NFTs, but you do have the choice of locking up your actual Krill token that's being generated and earning some compound interest on that. And so I thought that was interesting. The market responded pretty well to it. It went from about a 0.05 floor last night up to about a 0.1. The volume did pick up on it, and I am now interested to see where this game actually goes.
Quite innovative, though. I am worried about them getting their OpenSea blue check now, but very innovative DeFi angle to their game. At least there's some originality, as the book is that most of these games are just a copy paste of the Wolf Game contract with some different assets involved.
Yeah, like you gotta commend them for that. At least they are trying to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. Granted,
Right.
the wheel's a week old, but like at least they're trying to do something different here. But I had mentioned, man, it seems like most of this stuff is just gonna die, and it seems to be dying fairly quickly. Like most of these things are dying pretty violent deaths. Like Vampire Game 2, man, like that came out and people were pretty stoked about it, and when the whitelist, they started minting, like nobody wanted it. People were just like, "Nah, I'm good." And it's just baffling to me how you can want. I mean, I know that a lot of these projects are just cash grabs, but dude, like the contract's as important as like any other part of your project, and how these guys, like, it's every single day. Like it feels like multiple times a day there's like a contract exploit, and it's not always just for a P2E game either. Like it's just like contracts in general, like, oh, we found an exploit where somebody can mint for free, or whatever the case may be. It's just like, dude, how the fuck is that not airtight? Like, how are you not just getting that like audited and like making sure that thing is foolproof before you launch your project? But I mean, I think again that just comes back to a lot of these projects are crash gabs, and they don't really give a fuck. Like they just want to get paid and move on with their day.
Yeah,
But
I totally agree. I would be willing to bet that there's actually just a small handful of dev teams that are just like watch for the meta, and the second that there's an uber successful game like Wolf Game or a uber successful drop, they are just ready to go to hammer out a contract, some pretty half-assed art, and then whatever happens. Like all you need to do is strike big on one of them, mint out for $2 million or $1 million, and you can afford to take a couple of swings at some other ones, and maybe only 1 in 10 hit for you. And I'm not advocating that anybody do this, but like I think that this is actually probably a smaller group of people taking advantage of this.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
it seems like. Go ahead. No, sorry.
no, go ahead.
No, yeah, I mean, it seems like that's happening a lot too. Though people are just like, oh, we found out that this team, like that feudals drama. Like, I didn't follow it. Like, I don't know everything about it, but I know that that's what they were saying was, oh, this team is also involved in all these other failed projects. And so, like, to what you're saying about it being like a small group of devs that are doing that, like, I think that you're right. Like, I think it is like they're just sitting there waiting to pounce because, yeah, dude, one successful mint out, and you guys are fucking overnight millionaires. So why not just swing for the fences? But a lot of these contracts are being written by their 8-year-old children in their kitchen at 3 a.m. So.
People like to make fun of the idea that the art matters, but quite frankly, it's your best clue as to whether a project is a cash grab or not, right? If it's low effort art that looks extremely rushed, well, obviously this project isn't genuine. It's not authentic. It's about the money and not about anything else. So look at the art. I mean, it really, it will like, here's an example, and I'm not saying that this game is legit. I don't know. But Wizards and Dragons seem to really put a lot of effort into their art, and there seems to be a there. It seems like, if anything, they added the word game recently just to fit in to the current meta. But it doesn't feel like, it feels like a project that was in the works before Wolf Game, quite frankly. And maybe I'm wrong, but of all the games coming up, it seems to be the one that's had the most care put into the project. So,
Well,
the art does matter to an
you got to
extent.
think that it's not really that recently that Orc Game has had a lot of success. I would imagine that they probably inspired a handful of projects that now are seeing the meta shift to games, and they're going like, "Oh shit, we gotta ride this wave." My advice to them, or maybe not advice, they're not asking for it, but my thought process would be like, and we've talked about this a million times, focus on the quality, and your project will transcend the current meta, and the people will come. And also on top of that, specifically to gaming is like gaming is something that just like deeply resonates with the younger generations. Like, and when I say younger, I mean like under 40, right? Like, this is everybody under the age of 40 has just grown up with this shit, and it's only gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you're doing something in the gaming space for NFT or crypto, like, yeah, just focus on putting out a great product, and you don't need to ride this meta for any reason.
Correct.
Mic drop.
Yep.
Mic
Yeah,
drop.
that is 100% a mic drop.
No, honestly though, like Free Market brings up Wizards and Dragons, definitely one to look out for. It does look pretty cool, and if it's well thought out and there's some depth to it, I think it'll do very well. I'm gonna have to try and find some time to do my own deep dive on it. And are they still whitelisting at all, or?
I think they're minting imminently.
Oh, GM
I
mint
don't
is
even
today.
know.
I just saw that tweet. My mistake. There we go. Look out for that.
Yeah, I don't know if they're adding any more to the whitelist. There's a few AM members on it. I typed guard as many times as I could and was not added. I have no idea what the process is, but I'll try to mint it. I like the look. I'm a sucker for that.
So let's move on, and we will talk about the big topic of yesterday, as we alluded to at the beginning of the show. I would bring up the Artifact website on the screen, except it does not seem to be responding. So yeah, Artifact had a less than stellar afternoon yesterday. They were releasing their Dutch auction at 3 ETH at 5 p.m. Eastern yesterday. It seemed to actually gain a little bit of traction at 3 ETH. It looked like maybe 2,000 sales, 1,500 at that level. You were watching it live. I actually had to step out.
There was about 1,000 sales at 3E for people who could actually access the website, because it was really a shit show. I guess this morning we found out it was hosted by GoDaddy, which seems a little fucked for a $400 million drop.
That's not real, is it? That's just fun.
I don't know. I don't know what's FUD at this point, because anybody who wasn't in the pre-sale is they were salty about the drop to begin with. So it's just a perfect atmosphere today for misinformation to mix in with the info. But quite frankly, that's Artifact's fault. They shut the Discord down. Let no slow mode, no anything. Now, granted, it was a nightmare in there. It was, mutiny and like tons of people in the Discord who were never there because I had been dropping in the Discord periodically for the last couple months.
Sorry to cut you off. Can I get somebody to post the picture? It was floating around AlphaMInt yesterday of the message that they sent when they closed it off. And keep going, free market.
Yeah, no, it was pretty pathetic. They said that their mods were tired and that the FUD was overwhelming, and that they needed that they were going to shut it down until they woke up today. Mind you, as far as I know, it is still not open. The general is still closed. There's no information. They had said they were going to open the mint again at 10 a.m. Maybe that is Pacific because it's almost 10 a.m. Eastern right now. But this was the biggest clown show and amateurish launch from a team that was supposed to be royalty in the NFT space.
So I'm gonna pull this up on the screen. Thank you, Illidan, for putting that up. And I'm just going to read it real quick. It says, at everyone, due to the website still being attacked and unusable, which I've heard varying reports that wasn't even a thing, we're pausing the minting till we have it all fixed and upgraded. Minting will start again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific. Apologies for this fuck up. We had way too many attacks. The clown emojis went crazy on that. And then it was followed up about 10 minutes later with, due to us not being able to moderate chats, false information spreading, FUD, and trolls, we are closing Discord chat until tomorrow morning when our moderators wake up. Apologies to RTFK or Artifact. Oh my god, I almost did the RTFK Artifact community.
Aren't they in England? Isn't it like afternoon now? Aren't they English?
I don't know.
Am I wrong about that?
Fleeing the country might. No, I'm just kidding. But
there has been a real trend in trying to reinvent the mint wheel, right? I mean, we know that one of the number one topics every single day in this space is gas. It's all everybody talks about. They don't want to pay the fees. Fees are too high. Fees are too low. When is gas going down? Whatever, right? So apparently Artifact made this their entire obsession. And for 2 months, all we heard were delays and delays because the tech is so good and because we want to figure out clever ways to avoid a gas war. Well, maybe they tried to save people money in a gas war, but how many people bought worthless NFTs right after they took the snapshot? Because, so if you don't know, when they took the snapshot for the pre-sales of people who were eligible, there were certain NFTs that wouldn't jive with the 1155, which is the type of contract they put the vials on. So they had to issue a bonus NFT to people with those pre-sale eligible ones so that they could mint from the website. So you had this disc that once they gave it to you before the sale started was worth 12.65 E. In other words, the opening line for Artifact was 4.2 E. That was what you paid if you bought one of the pre-sale discs to mint 3 artifacts, right? And once you use that disc, it was useless after that. There was nothing you could do with it. Maybe they'll name future utility, but within about 20 minutes, there was 5 sales for 5E, 3E, 2E, because people didn't realize these discs were useless. This had happened to Artifact numerous times with their other products, because with Artifact, one of the big angles is you get to forge your NFT and get a physical. Well, there's no easy way on OpenSea to say this was forged, this was used, this NFT is useless now. So all the money they may have saved people in gas, people got scammed and tricked into buying something that they thought was worth anything, and it was worthless. So there were so many sloppy, boneheaded moves by these guys. And forget the fact that they started these NFTs at 3E. Whatever you think about the price, if you release if you do this pre-sale at 0.05 and every large whale and every large collector already has dozens, if not hundreds of these things, there's very few insiders left to buy on the open market. You're completely dependent on normies and celebrities. Normies and celebrities aren't minting from contract. And if they spend 30 minutes trying to get on a website, they're going to give up. And that thing wasn't functional for 45 minutes.
Especially when they're
Say what
waving
you will.
$12,000 around.
Yeah. No, and I mean, you think these people wait online at Louis Vuitton to buy a handbag? The people they expected to pay $15,000 for a Takashi NFT weren't going to sit there and click refresh all night, period. Right? So you saw 1,000 of these things fly at 3E right when they started the website. I'm not sure they wouldn't have continued to mint out, maybe even before where they are now, right? But every single dynamic about this launch was overthought because they were concerned, I guess, about a gas war, which only would have benefited the price of their NFTs at this point. They claimed they were doing everything for community when it seems like they were doing the exact opposite.
Yeah, it's a tough look for them, and you actually raise an interesting point about people willing to wait in line for something, or based on the current price of Ethereum, like we're looking at almost $15,000 at the 3 ETH mark, and I'm sorry, but it doesn't inspire a whole lot of confidence when you go to the website to spend $15,000 and the website doesn't work. Right? Like,
Yeah.
How do you feel good about that purchase? Right? So that was kind of, check number one. And then, the other thing was, I think it got down to what, 2.5 ETH on the Dutch auction, 2.4 ETH, and they
2.6 is what it stopped at.
Okay,
So
and they minted about 2,000
right?
of them, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, no, they shut the Dutch auction down, and obviously we talked about minting is supposed to resume at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, you got to have it in the back of your mind that this just wasn't going according to plan, and the price was going, and like at the 2.6 there was only, I think, 2 sales that went through, and I hate to FUD a project or speculate too much. Like, we're going on pretty limited information here, but it does I do get the sense that there was some internal, like, let's cut this shit off and regroup and figure out how to save face here, because not only did they stop the mint down and they said their website was under a DDoS attack, but to shut the Discord down in the fashion that they did, and then just say, in the midst of making potentially $100 million, saying, we'll do this again when we wake up. Like, you have your mod team going. Like, I don't care if you say, look, the drop's at 5 p.m. Like, you need to be ready to go for 12 hours, 15 hours. Like, it's all hands on deck. If you need to adjust your sleep schedule, this is like the premier launch of the year. Like, do it. What the fuck is, like, I need to go to sleep. I need to go to sleep. Who the fuck is sleeping?
If you need to adjust your schedule, please do it to buy our NFTs. But our mod team will not be adjusting their sleep schedule. We're going to sleep with this fucking $60 million, and you guys can fuck right off until tomorrow. Dude.
This honestly reeks of ego, too. I think these guys were just way too confident in the fact that they could do anything they wanted and get away with it. And it's not, I don't think they had bad intentions. I just think they thought too much of themselves. Again, they
It was hubris.
overthought. Hubris, exactly. They overthought
100%.
this process. People love minting. People love the reveal. People love waiting 24 hours so that they could sell one and get out with a profit. There are certain things that are standard practice and people just like, and there was no reason for them to overthink that. They should, I am holding, all this said, and I am just disgusted with the launch and their response to it. I'm more disgusted with their response to it. I believe in the project. I tweeted a thread yesterday that goes over the finer points of what they're trying to do. I think this project suffers from what many projects suffer from, and that is they are very early for the concept they're trying to put out there. One, nobody cares about 3D art in this market yet. Most people weren't here before February. I've been here for a couple of years. Last year, 3D art was the only thing that was selling. There were some pixel projects that showed up early in 2022 and 2021, but 3D was the meta at the time. It was what everybody was into. And I do think we are going to go back there, especially when you combine it with the metaverse coming into, the popular lexicon, Facebook, and then the hardware and VR and all this stuff becoming popular. I think CloneX is going to be very successful. And I don't think a bad launch has anything to do with the product's longevity. How many failed, botched, fucked up launches have we seen where the product moons after? I'm not particularly concerned with the long-term prospects of the CloneX product, but I am concerned with how this team. I am concerned with how the team is going to respond at this point. I believe they should burn the remaining supply. It really. I think everybody has a bad taste in their mouth. They did not realize that the two forces of this Dutch auction starting lower than they were already priced for on OpenSea. And all these people who paid 0.05 watching the Dutch auction, getting nervous, starting to undercut, that then would stop people from buying from the Dutch auction. It was this it was a feedback loop. It was ridiculous. I mean, they really screwed that up.
So I want to just quickly touch on a couple of other things. Sorry, Ongo, if you have something to add to that.
No. You guys go ahead. I don't want to slow anything down. Like, I'm mostly just gonna FUD them anyways.
Oh,
so
don't worry.
I'll
I'll give you your opportunity to. Just do keep in mind that there are some people that are involved in this project in the Discord, so maybe don't FUD too hard. But no, I get it. It's a funny situation. And I just wanted to bring up the fact that I think one of the things that maybe people started to realize was going down, that they were also charging a 10% royalty on top of the 2.5% that OpenSea takes. So now there's a 12.5% cut on everything that's happening in their ecosystem, and
on the vials. This was their genius idea to try to make sure that nobody would trade the vials, because nobody would be willing to pay the 10%. That royalty will go down when the CloneXs show up in people's accounts.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still gross though. And no, my thing was, I just think that if you were gonna run the Dutch auction, it should have been, somebody pointed out in the AM show chat that, that doing the 0.1 every 30 minutes was a really, really dumb idea, since Dutch auctions are all about momentum. Because look at granted, I'm not comparing Artifact to, Base C, but look at how the May C Dutch auction went. Look how quickly the price decreased with that. And I mean, and that was also a 20K collection. And again, I'm not comparing the two projects at all, but look at how, a Dutch auction run that way versus a Dutch auction run this way. You can kind of see. And yeah, I mean, it's tough whenever you have pre-sale, like the whitelist, there's 10,000 being sold at 0.05. And then you're like, okay, the other 10,000 are going to be sold. They're going to start at 3 fucking ETH. I don't know, man. That just seemed like a recipe for disaster to begin with. But somebody in your chat.
I will happily compare Bored Ape Yacht Club to Artifact. Artifact was Bored Ape Yacht Club before they showed up. This was the darling of the NFT space. They had invented the idea of utility, right? Nobody had done anything like this before. They went after the same crowd that Bored Ape Yacht Club now owns, which is that supreme sneakerhead hype basketball type of crowd. And it's very comparable. And they, they say, if you come for the king, don't miss. And Bored Ape Yacht Club has reinvented utility and is eating Artifact's lunch, even just like you said. Look at that Dutch auction. 30-minute intervals. Come on.
That's
everything
insane.
About that is fucked.
But that's also, I'll say one last thing, but that's also one of the reasons why I thought that the CloneX thing might suffer a little bit too, is because I come from a physical art background, our entire team does. And so watching Murakami resurface a couple of years ago, open up his archives and start selling stuff that hadn't been sold in years. I mean, the margins were crazy on all of that stuff, right? Because before then, Murakami stuff had never been easily accessible unless you were fucking rich.
Yeah.
And then as he diluted his brand, and hey, more power to anybody that's getting a bag, dude. This is not hate at all, but he sold out and, started making scarves, plushes, and all of that stuff, and appearing at Complex Con. So it brought in that entire crowd, right? Like the hype beasts, the sneaker kids, and stuff like that. And those guys have, you know, the patience of I don't know what, but it doesn't exist, right? So like the minute there's any kind of, you know, anytime there's chum in the water, like those dudes are just going to run for the doors and dump whatever they can. And so that's kind of, you know, just from my experience with these guys, that's kind of what I felt might happen with CloneX. And obviously it's not over yet. You know, the jury's still out on all of that, but that was one of the reasons why I was like, ooh, I didn't really love, again, like the 0.05 to, you know, the 3 Dutch auction. So there was a lot of things that I was just like, man, I don't really love it. I didn't really want to partake, but some of them do look really, really good. And you know, some of the other stuff Artifact's done, like I like, but yeah, overall, I was just on the fence about the entire thing because the type of crowd I thought it was going to draw in. And I wasn't as bullish on CloneX as a lot of other people were. But I do hope that free market gets every single rare. Everybody in this chat who partook gets all of the rares. They all make a fat ass bag, and everybody's happy.
That's the one, right? So on that note, like I will imagine, like it is Tuesday, we will have plenty of discussion based on CloneX probably for the rest of the week. So if you aren't interested in this topic, like just a heads up, we'll try to keep it pretty segmented in the future episodes. But yeah, this is something that's going to be ongoing. There's going to be more that's coming out of it, and you know, anybody that partook in it, I really hope that it does work out for you. As Free Market kind of said, it would be nice if at this point they just kind of put their hands up and said, you know what, that didn't go according to plan. We hit some road bumps. We're just going to burn the rest of the supply. We're going to take the L financially and not try and make this kind of drag on for any longer.
But guess what? They already spent that money in their head. Man, you know that's hard to undo.
Well, that's one of the hard things about the Dutch auction is, right? Like that obviously the way that this went down, they were assuming this was going to go a lot better than it did. And when you're staring down the barrel of potentially a 3 ETH mint or a 2 ETH mint, or if it goes down to 1.5 ETH mint, you're watching that money just drain from your bank account, which like didn't actually exist, by the way. But it is tough. Who knows like how much money they actually needed for this whole plan to kind of work out according the way that they saw it go. So maybe that they started to realize that you know, their own future might have been in jeopardy. I don't know. I'm not an accountant for them, but
this was 100 IQ on the fucking bell curve.
And is that another mic drop?
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. So on that note, yeah.
5E by Friday.
Five. Shubs is licking his lips at that AlphaMInt pass that is going to be potentially transferred over to him, but it is not over yet. No. It's not over yet. Honestly.
Oh, is there a bet with Shubs?
There is. It has to be under 2E on Monday, 9:40 a.m.
Was it Monday? Okay. So
yeah.
What were the terms then? So if it is, Shubs
an
gets
AlphaMInt pass is the gamble here. We will be one of us is sending the other an AlphaMInt pass under or over 2E.
Gotcha. Okay.
So there are some bull cases really quickly. One, as we kind of talked about with the Cryptoon goons, like say they do end up burning their supply and they do a reveal. If these things you know, when you put them side by side with 50 other ones, if they look great all together, that could be very bullish for this project. You know, we always do the PFP test. I think they'll turn out fine individually in like a Discord server, like a Discord logo or a Twitter logo or whatever. But you really do have to pass that test of like when you're on OpenSea and you're staring at 60 of them all at once. Do any of them stick out to you, or is it just like kind of like a wash of like I don't know what I'm looking at? So if these end up looking great in that regard, like next to each other, I could see this this kind of turning a corner in combination with the supply being burned. But that's anyone's guess. I suspect you're right, Free Market. It's going to go ahead, and that will be at 1 p.m. Eastern, so there will be lots to dissect tomorrow regarding that, too.
They better have called every goddamn celebrity in their Rolodex. Every single one. You go buy your fucking CloneX at 1 p.m.
Free Market. They're actually contacting P Diddy right we'll just come back to that.
Perfect.
We'll just come back to that. And they're
they
actually
recovered the bag. Wonderful.
Okay. Enough about us. Let's talk about you, Ongo. You are we'll do about a 10-minute little thing with you, and then we will move into the voice chat and bring the rest of your team on. But you launched a successful project with Cyber Babies. You're working in the bot space, particularly for minting. And you mentioned you've been around in crypto since early 2017. So let's just really quickly talk about the path from like how you got into crypto to now. Like, I know that's a pretty long span of events.
Oh, well, I definitely I can say right now that I am not interesting enough to get 10 minutes alone. But yeah, I've been the entire team actually. Like we've all known each other for about a decade, and we were botting art releases and stuff like that for years. And one of the team members, actually, Roush, he's been in Bitcoin since Bitcoin was sub $100, and so he's basically been tooting the horn since then. He's been banging the drum, guys. Everybody that he knows, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. And of course, all of us were just like, no, dude, we're not going to buy your fake internet money. Nobody cares about, And so, like, as it's increasing and increasing and increasing, finally, I think when Bitcoin hit like $1,000, I'm like, okay, maybe there's actually something to this. Like, I should definitely buy some of this fake internet money. And so I think my first crypto purchases were, I bought half a Bitcoin when it was like 985 or so. And he actually knew about Ethereum pretty early too. So when ETH was like $9, he started beating the drum on that. He's like, look, this is probably a Ponzi. He's like, but scams pump better than anything else. He's like, so hop on the scam coin. And so like I bought like 60 ETH at like $9, and I promptly sold it at $45 and thought I was the greatest trader of all time. So that's how that went. And so like I've been in crypto since then, buying this, that, and the other. And then earlier this year, another one of our team members, Johnson, had said, he's like, hey, I'm in some discords and these guys are killing it with NFTs. But I was definitely part of the right click save crowd when I first heard about NFTs.
You dirty bastard.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I hate to admit that, but I definitely was, because again, though, a lot of it's just because I've been in the physical art world for almost 11 years. I was just like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I don't care, like, if JPEGs are flipping. Like, I'm not interested at all. And so that was just, the boomer in me. I was just like, get off my lawn. I'm not buying your fucking fake, digital pictures. And then, as the months went on, Johnson's like, dudes, like, for real, like, we really need to start looking at NFTs. And then Roush, another one of our team members, said the same thing. He's like, yeah, dudes, he's like, it's starting to pop up in a lot of my, crypto chats. Like, there's something to this. So we all decided, okay, let's dive right in. And then we realized there was, a lack of what we were doing in the physical art space, like in the NFT space. And we started talking, and that's kind of how the idea of Cyber Babies was born. And yeah, I mean, that's what started everything. We just realized there was, a lack of the tools that we had been using in the physical space in the NFT space. So we just decided, fuck it, like, let's take a shot, right? And the demand was there for it. Like, obviously, like, I mean, we've had, dozens of, people, like, competitors pop up, like Nifty, Ryzen, like all of those guys. So clearly there's a massive demand for, like, the tools we're offering, but we're trying to be the best. Like, we want, our users, we want to be a one-stop shop for, all of their needs. We don't want them to feel like, oh, okay, well, we can use Cyber Babies for this and, then use another tool for that. Like, we want, like, if you buy a baby, we want to offer you a full suite of tools that every trader and collector can use, so they don't have to use other tools, right? So that's why we're continuing to build out, like, our tool suite right now. The contract bot's in beta, and we're going to continue to dial that in, and we obviously, like, we have other stuff in the works too. So really, awesome. really excited about the partnership with you guys, and what's in the works.
So how do the dynamics work? You buy the NFT, the Cyber Baby NFT. Walk us through, how somebody who doesn't know anything would just would get access to your products.
So I guess after this we can probably bring the team on, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
so basically you're gonna go to OpenSea, you're gonna purchase the Cyber Baby, and once you've purchased the Cyber Baby, you're going to go to our website, which is cyberbabies.io, and you're going to download the Chrome extension, which is the OpenSea Sniper, and the rarity tool and the contract bot are actually both on site. So like you don't need to download anything. You just need to make sure when you're accessing the tools that you've connected the wallet that the baby is in, because that's your license. Like if you own a baby and you like accidentally misclicked and connected a wallet that didn't have a baby, like the tools won't work. Like that's your key to the entire suite. Like if you don't have it, you can't use it. So so there's only one download, and that's the OpenSea Sniper, and the other two tools that we currently have like are actually like hosted on our website. So there's no download necessary for those.
Awesome. I know that In Business loves your sniper tool. I mean, he absolutely destroyed that Monaco drop overnight the other day. And then your bot tool. So it's single use keys, if I'm not mistaken. Could you go into that a little bit?
Yeah. So we, I mean, that was one of those things where we went back and forth forever about it. We didn't really know what the right move was, because again, we see like what competitors are charging, and some of these guys are charging like 4 to 5 ETH for the lifetime license, and then there's also like a monthly renewal fee, and I won't say any names, but one of our competitors is charging 5 ETH for the lifetime pass, and then I think it's 1.5 or 2 ETH per month for renewal.
Wow.
Yeah, and so then you look at months like October, where it was, like a quote unquote black swan event for NFTs, and nobody was buying shit. Like imagine spending fucking, $9,000 for the month of October on a renewal, and you didn't buy a fucking thing. Like that I would be pretty upset about that, right? And nobody knew that kind of event was coming. So
yeah, it's a business write-off.
Yeah. So we're surveying the landscape, seeing how everything's going, and just like any other Discord, we have we have guys that have massive bankrolls. We have guys that they want to take their 0.1 wins, their 0.2 wins, and they're trying to get to that point where they have a massive bankroll. So we serve like this large swath of like collectors and traders, and so we wanted to find a way to make it as affordable as possible. And so the keys was the idea, because with the keys, at least because say you're somebody, like say you're a baby holder and you're extremely selective about what you buy, and you're like, man, I might only actually buy 2 or 3 NFTs a month. Why do I want to spend 0.75 ETH for a license for something? So we decided, we were like, well, why don't we just release a keys, which is a one-time use. And so then because we know when most of these big drops are happening. So if you're somebody that is really selective and you're like, oh, I just want to hit the really, really big shit, you can say, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to buy, 10 keys the night before, the CloneX drop. And, I'm just going to hit that drop really, really hard. You can do that. Like you have the option to do that. But, some of our members definitely were just like, well, we'd like a lifetime option. So, now we have a lifetime license as well. But yeah, that's where it came from. We were really we didn't want to price anybody out. Basically, we wanted everybody to have access to the contract bot without pricing anybody out. And we felt that at 0.03, that was a pretty fair price point, and we didn't think that anybody was going to feel like, oh, these guys are just trying to cash grab us or anything like that. And the response was mostly positive. I think some people just expected, because some guys are just like, dude, I just want to pay like a renewal or one-time fee and just not have to worry about doing this or that or the other. But yeah, that was ultimately why we decided on that. Is just because we know that in our group that there's a large variety of collectors and traders. So we kind of wanted to try to serve everybody the best we could and not price anybody out.
I think that's smart. It must also reduce load on your product too, right?
Yeah, 100% does. 100% does.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think you've done
there was
some interesting stuff with that. In regards to doing the single use, like there is a little bit of selectiveness to it. You are making it accessible for people that might not want to do this all the time, but are have their eye on a project that they really really want to be a part of, and maybe it's just worth that extra little additional investment into their cost basis to use it. And then I actually really like the fact that you've capped the amount of lifetime products that you've used too. I believe it was 25, right?
Yeah, for the lifetime license. But with the tools, like, just to be clear, the sniper and the rarity bot, those are lifetime tools. So like, yes, the contract bot understandably requires like an additional fee, but the OpenSea sniper and the rarity tool are lifetime licenses. So when you buy the Cyber Baby, you're always going to have access to both of those tools and every single upgrade and update that comes with those.
Yeah, that's super cool.
I liked your art too.
That's so cool.
Your babies were cute.
Dude, do you know how much fun our team had curating those? Like, we have I think the team's overwhelming favorite was the Heisenberg baby.
I gotta find that one.
Oh, I'll have one of the guys. If I know that the team's listening, guys, can one of y'all post the Heisenberg baby in the AM chat? Yeah, that dude.
I see it. Yeah.
We had a shit ton of fun like curating these, and so it was really really nice when everybody's just like, okay, your tools are really cool, but these babies are fucking awesome too. So like, it's always nice to hear like good shit about your project, right? Like, anytime somebody's like, hey, you guys did a good job, it makes you feel good. And like, our entire team is fucking incredible, man. Like, those guys are really really great.
We're gonna have a chance to chat with them. So just real quick, give us the 60-second overview of what we're gonna see in the demo. I do just want to preface the fact that we are going to have to do that in the Moon Lounge voice chat, because that's how you have access to sharing your screen. For anybody that's listening that's not part of the Moon Lounge, it will be recorded. We will put it up on YouTube later, but for now, this will be like a direct access thing for Moon Lounge holders. But yeah, give us the 60 seconds of if people want to jump down there with us, what to expect.
Well, I know that we want to do a Q&A with the team, so we'll be there to answer like any questions you guys might have just about the products in general, or security concerns you might have regarding installing a Chrome extension to your computer. And we're also going to do a full demo. We're going to let our dev actually is going to do the demo. So our lead dev is going to do the demo, and it's going to be a full demo for the OpenSea Sniper and all the features that it has. The rarity bot and the features that it has, and then also he's going to show how the beta bot, the contract bot, works. Amazing. So because it seems like your users definitely have a lot of questions on the functionality of the tools and stuff like that, so we figured if we just show them instead of tell them, that would be the best course of action. Love it.
Okay, so we normally cap off the show. We got about, I don't know, let's say 15 more minutes for the Q&A session. If you're gonna ask Q&A sessions regarding the Cyber Babies or the Flashbot, let's keep that to the voice chat that we're gonna do. But if you want to come up here and talk about anything that we spoke about, or anything that you're looking forward to today, just throw your hand up. We'll bring you up on the stage and shoot the shit with you for, I would say let's do it for 15 minutes, and then we'll move on down to the voice chat. And while I'm waiting for people to put their hands up, I do just want to say, I'm going to invite Cass up there, but we did last night sell out of the wave 2 of the Moon Lounge Pass. So amazing. Yeah, basically 8 days to sell out the second round of them. And that was going through the Thanksgiving AlphaMInt bear market, which was just a little bit of a quieter time for us. But super bullish to hear about that, and we have so much stuff that we're talking about behind the scenes that we're excited to announce, and included in that will be the details for wave 3. So if anybody is listening and they're sitting on the sidelines, fear not. It is coming, and it will come soon. And I know the last wave, there was some concerns about a gas war, which is incredibly flattering, but do not worry about the gas war too. You do not have to be sitting.
We have been planning for 2 months everything we can do to avoid a gas war. It is our main concern. It's all we've been thinking about. And we're transferring to a 155 con, whatever. All right, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Guys,
And no
when,
Dutch
when are y'all,
auction.
when are y'all shutting down the Discord because of FUD, guys? Like,
Yeah. Watch
No
this.
more passes. This is bullshit. Cass, what's going on, man? GM.
What's good, guys?
Oh, we're having a great day. Oh, and also, yeah, I don't know if you saw it, Free Market, 65 listeners we capped out at. So yeah, amazing,
Wow.
good stuff. It's all I'm putting that on
At least
Ongo.
something's making an all-time high today.
Ooh. Cass, take it away.
It's been really good, man. Like, because I remember when I first came in, it was like 28 in the audience, 27, 28, 29, 30. To get 60, that's an achievement, guys, man. So well done.
Up and to the right.
Yeah, no, that's moving, man. Yeah. So how you guys been? You seem pumped. Snoop Dogg fan, like
I'm grumpy.
Yeah, Free Market's having a day, understandably so. But
don't worry, man. We'll do the Snoop. One day when I come down to Canada, we'll do the Snoop.
Is that like get high on narcotics?
Oh my god! I was gonna say you're talking to the wrong host. You need to
Are you guys ripping the bong again?
Yeah.
No, just straight up paper. Anyway, no. What's the one thing I was gonna ask, or I'm curious about, what are your thoughts on talking about play to earn games? What are your thoughts on Ants, which I found that their Discord was really, really, really cool, and Purgatory?
You may have to drop those links for me. I know nothing. Is
Uh,
Ants game? Oh, maybe Ongo knows.
Yeah,
it's an alien Discord. I'll drop the link in the dojo.
Awesome.
That's the one you're talking about, right, Cass? The alien one.
That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah,
Dude, it's wild in there, man. I'll drop the link for everyone right now.
Whitelist, but it was great. It was so much fun just to get whitelist. It was, and their concept was really cool. I'll send you the link to Purgatory as well. Oh, there's Purgatory, but then there's two different sections. One is called Zeus Army. The other one's Dante's Army, and there's two separate mints on each army for the game. I'll send you the link for Zeus. Invite people.
Quick, did you just say it was fun to get whitelisted?
Yeah, seriously.
Drip called from downtown.
He just came on with that snipe. Boom.
No, normally it's like a real graft and an effort to get on whitelist, or you have to be super quick. But it was just weird. Ants was just weird. You had to do these I think it was a way to get you to rank up, but they didn't do it in a way. All the names are question marks. So you don't know who's who. And yeah, I had to do these bot sequences in some sort of way, and then I got whitelist.
Huh.
So
that's pretty cool.
It was mad. Where shall I put it? Shall I put it in?
Yeah, and the AM show chat if you
AM show chat, yeah, it's best.
It's right above the stage.
Another one I know the AM Dojo is crazy about is that Nora game, Norja, Nora, which is also an entirely gamified Discord. It's always in character. There's no anime mental health hobby rooms. It's you're in this medieval battle. Everyone has their sides, and I don't even know if it's an NFT project. I couldn't even tell you if there's art. I just know that everyone's always attacking and defending, and people love the gamified Discord.
It's just I think it's ever small. The whole gaming thing has really taken off over the past 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it's just got me really excited because when I got into the whole NFT space, it was like, okay, PFPs are cool, but there needs to be more utility. Then people tried to start bringing this outside of the world utility, which can work for some people and doesn't for others. And then now it's just gaming, and
right.
so because the gaming population is so big, it's massive. So for this to go mainstream, or for the whole NFT space to go mainstream, gaming, I think, would be really important to kind of get that involved.
So actually, during the show, and try not to like pump my own bags all the time or whatever, but HeadDAO actually did announce, Shamdu on Twitter announced that he wanted to do a game surrounding the HeadDAO using the token from there, and asked for approval from the DAO for like 30 million tokens or something, which is probably sitting at like $15 million, I think, to get that going. And the DAO is voting like heavily in favor of doing this. Like last night, it was like 400 votes yes and 0 votes no. So if you are involved in that project, there's some kind of bullish news. The volume kind of picked up overnight on that, and it kind of ran up to about a 0.3 floor right now. But it'll be interesting to see what they do. I'm not sure if they're late to the party or whatnot, but anything that continues the tokenomics of the those the currencies that they're using is going to pique my interest at least.
Yeah, definitely. So I believe that with gaming, it can't really be a phase. I mean, different types of games, yes, will be a phase, but gaming itself.
Yeah, I agree with that very strongly.
So if it's a case of that, do you think NFTs are NFTs can be anything really because it's a contract, but do you think that gaming will really help along with Coinbase to kind of push it to the masses?
It's one of the big factors, no question. I think everyone is eagerly anticipating Magic the Gathering and Pokemon entering the fray as the big projects that people are looking forward to, and these are games, right? I think this is what fundamentally speaks to most people. These are entertainment properties, right? We're competing with Netflix and AMC and PlayStation. That is, we are competing for minutes, right? And just looking at the JPEG isn't necessarily it. So I definitely think gaming is the angle here. And it's so primitive right now. We're all nerds. We love this on-contract gaming. I mean, I'll play fully on the Etherscan contract, and I enjoy it, right? But your average person kind of needs a controller in their hand and some sort of GUI that they identify with. So we're really, really early on this. The trends in meta are going to change 15 times before mass adoption occurs. And, let's just try to ride every wave. I'm totally into the gaming.
No, perfect. Well, I will leave you guys to it to see if you can bring someone else up. And thank you for having me. And I'll speak to you guys tomorrow.
Always a pleasure.
Guys.
Take care, guys.
All right. If anybody wants to jump up here to wrap it off with us, in business, he's about to come give me shit about my HeadDAO shell last night.
No. In business is not allowed on the stage. Next.
No. Oh, he put his hand down. No, I'll bring you up, man. It's he's this bastard. No talking to Ongo though. This is a Ongo free discussion. You guys got rolling yesterday in the voice chat, and you didn't leave for hours. So I'll kick you off stage if any of this is directed at Cyber Babies, Flashbots, or Ongo.
Yes, I've got 10 questions. I've got 10 questions about Cyber Babies.
Yeah, you'll get your chance. Don't worry.
Yeah. So I use we'll use talk about other tools. Yeah. So R2DGen, as we affectionately call Clout. I think you should just stick with that. It's easier to say. I don't like multi-syllable names. It takes years of my life.
Time is money, right? Yeah, I'm stealing from you.
Can I just go with R2?
Yeah, R2 is fine. Yeah.
Okay. So I use. He had mentioned that, and I've been trying out one strategy of like if you can get on the front of a wave, just either buy them individually or like let's say you were going to try to pick up 5, you just target like the 7 or 8 or 9 on using Genie and try to sweep a floor, hoping for a pump. The Genie worked, but we just didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't get the pump yet that I was hoping for. So.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Like again, marketing maybe not some of these projects' strong suits. Announcing this at like 10 o'clock, at 10:30, 11 o'clock on a Monday night. Maybe not the greatest way to do it, but if it's not all about the initial pump, the volume ended up getting pretty slow throughout the night. But it is picking back up. So I don't know, man. I wouldn't write it off. The thing is, like, as we were watching this go down, like, there was like nothing being listed.
Right. Yeah, there was very little volume available for purchase. So it definitely could have popped. I think, those types of trades, if your plan is to go do it, you're not going to hit them every time, right? I mean, it is what it is. What I wonder there is if it's purely a degen trade strategy. When the pump doesn't come, do I just, do I sell them again? And then that's just one of those, I lost a little bit of money.
Well, I mean, I would spend some time looking into, like, once the DAO approves it, what kind of game they're looking at doing, and if it integrates the head token, right? Because I mean, I've had my 6 staked for a long time. Like, I have almost 1,000 head tokens, and like the head token overnight has more than doubled in price, which is kind of exciting too. So, like, I mean, if there's some integration with that, yeah.
So the head token. So I should have done it with the head token and not with the NFT.
For the immediate flip, yeah, maybe, but
Yeah, I got you. No, I mean that probably would make sense. It's just that flips the concept from a trade to a buy and hold, which may not be a bad play. It's just not the play that I was making.
Yeah,
Dude, and it's,
go ahead.
no, it's just interesting, like looking how some of these projects like that get these massive supply shocks, which y'all were talking about earlier with whale game, like versus staking and not like earning passive. Like head DAO, like, I mean, there's a massive chunk of those staked, right? And there's like a massive, yeah, and there's a massive chunk of like Evo snails, for example, like, which is, similar. And like the supply shock, like, I think what head DAO peaked at like 0.8, 0.85, something like that.
It was up there, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna say that was R2's complaint with, I think we're both in Whales Game, and that was his complaint with Whales Game, is because it's passive staking, you don't get that supply shock that you otherwise would see.
Yeah, but I'm assuming you saw the compounding thing. So now they're, I don't know if you heard the beginning of the show, but we talked about just like instead of, yeah. Do you see the krill compounding thing?
No.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. So now instead of staking your NFTs, you can actually stake your krill tokens for compound interest on the krill token. So now instead of shocking the supply of the actual NFT portion of the game, you're supply shocking the token part of it, which I thought was kind of interesting. At least original.
How does that work though? Because they already had staking, but they had it was a step removed. You had to wrap it.
Well, liquidity pool, yeah. Yeah.
So that they kind of already had that. So what you're saying is the new play is different than that. I think maybe they did that because they just didn't have enough people that understood how to do.
Well, this project minted yesterday, didn't it? Like, I have to believe that this was already in the
2 days ago. I think.
Was it 2? Yeah. Like, I have to believe that this was already in the works, because I don't think you just figure out those tokenomics and then code it into the contract on the fly like that. Maybe if this was like 8 or 9 days and the project was stagnating, then maybe. But I mean, they've already said that there's more to come on top of this, and they're kind of just releasing it in layers. So I mean, again, I don't know what to expect of this. I'm not aping in with all of my liquidity or anything like that, but it has all of a sudden kind of entered that realm of this is an interesting hold now.
This thing has come back from the dead, I think, 3 times.
It has,
now.
Yeah.
It's been down at like point. I literally was going to sweep like 20 last night at 0.04, and I'm like hearing that. But it might be a good play if for beginner listeners, if you guys see it back down at those levels. They seem to be. This is not like people came out at a derivative time as the other games, but this is not derivative of Wolf Game. This was different code.
I also think that if you're operating on lower liquidity, this has not destroyed my ETH in terms of paying gas. Like that's one of the reasons why. Like I think if this thing is going to work, it might work in a different kind of way. So I mean, I don't find that I'm pumping a lot of money into staking, unstaking, claiming, unclaiming. Minting the new fisherman is probably the biggest expense that I have, but it's immediately plus EV.
But in general, I think we've kind of given that warning before. If you are new and don't have a lot of liquidity, staking projects are not the ideal target.
Minting is the way. Whitelists are the way for sure. So, in business, we're gonna have. I'm sure you'll join us and have more conversation, more centered around cyber babies and the Flashbot and everything that the team is going to show us. Free Market, is there anything you want to finish us off with?
Thursday, we got a pretty special show planned, which isn't going to be part of the morning show. It'll be later in the afternoon. We are going to have on the creator of Little Lemon Friends. I think you know how bullish AM is on this project. And big news, we actually have 10 whitelist spots we're going to be giving away. We're going to be giving away some of them to people who are listening in the audience. So tell your friends. It's going to be sometime after 2 p.m. I will tweet about the actual time. So I'll give everybody some notice. But this is my favorite upcoming project. I am so excited and honored that he gave us whitelist spots to give away to our AM members. And we are even going to give away a few to the general. So please tune in for that. I am pumped.
Huge. Ongo, how was your first AM show co-host experience?
It was fun, man. It was really, really fun. Like the rest of the team, like when they get on, they're gonna tell you, like, I never shut the fuck up. So like this was like whenever you guys were like, hey, do you want to get on and talk shit? Absolutely. Like I could not say yes fast enough. Dude, it was a lot of fun, man. I had a really good time.
Good.
And
I'm
we're
back.
talking about stuff that we're all interested in. So yeah, like of course, like my wife gets tired of hearing about this shit, so it's nice to talk to you guys about it.
Yeah, I definitely can empathize with that sometimes for sure. So yeah, thank you so much for doing this with us. Great to have you up here. It was a lot of fun. Free Market, you wanna give the final shout?
Good luck at the tables, everyone.
Good luck at the tables. We'll see you down in the voice chat. And again, real quick for anybody that listened and jumped in late or misses episodes, it's up on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and yeah, we out.